Alright, it is time for another 3000 point one-page rules battle report. We're putting the Space Wolves. I'll be running these guys. I recently did a Wolf Brothers custom redesign that I've been working on trying to finish off throughout the year. Yeah, that's been the goal this year, is to try to get a full set of redesigns for all the armies. Looking forward to finishing that off. So we putting them against some Tyranids. So I'll be using the alien hives that I'll be playing. I really want to see how my armies, my custom redesigns, do against what I consider to be one of the best armies in the games. And that's alien hives that I'll be running as Tyranids. So let's get into it. But before we do that, do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, comment. I really appreciate everyone's support. I do plan on doing some live games, but we have the holidays going on. There will be a lot coming up, but for now, let's just do some battle reports on Universal Battles. The ruins of Kado echoed with the distant guttural howls of alien monstrosities. Broken spires clawed at the blood-red sky, their shattered remains littering the avenues where a once thriving hive city stood. Now the streets ran slick with the ichor of 1,000 slain Tyranids, mingling with the blood of the planet's defenders. Smoke and ash choked the air, the only light provided by the glows of fire that consumed the remnants of civilization. Here, amidst the crumbling cityscape, the Space Wolves made their stand. Clad in their battle-worn ceramite, the warriors of Fenris braced themselves against the swarm. Each warrior was a legend in his own right. Yet now they faced a foe that knew neither fear nor honor. The Tyranids were unending, a tide of chitin and claw, their ravenous hunger stripping worlds bare. What had begun as a distant chittering now roared into an avalanche of sound. The swarm had arrived. The ground trembled as the first wave of Tyranids broke through the smoke. Gargoyles screeched from the skies, while hormagaunts leapt over the wreckage, their claws glinting like jagged shards of blackened steel. The symphony of battle began. In the shadows of a ruined city, heroism and savagery fought together. So this is a 3,000 point battle. It's going to run the standard scenario with only 3 objectives got rolled up this time. This is some 3.4.1 testing. And again, I'll be testing out my Wolf Brothers custom redesign to see how it goes up against some alien hives. And yeah, I'll be using Universal Battles for this one. So for the army lists, if you look at my Wolf Brothers previous thing, this is basically the army list that I came up with. A Wolf Master Destroyer that I have with an Energy Fist, so he's actually going to be running Ambush. I've given him the Ferocious upgrade, so he'll be running with those Wolf Destroyers that I'll talk about a little later. And so this is all these guys are going to be hitting on 2s. So it's a pretty nasty squad, but very expensive. We got some Wolf Pathfinders that are running with their Assault Pistols Close Combat. I've actually given both this squad Warning Cry. Some Wolf Brothers that I have with 4 Plasma Rifles, as well as some Medical Training. Some Wolf Rookie Brothers that I have with 2 Dual Energy Claws. I then have the big man, so this is running with the Wolf Master Destroyer. We've got some Wolf Destroyers. They got their Assault Shotguns. The first time I'm trying this unit with the Assault Shotgun, and I have them all with AP4 Energy Fists. They've also got Medical Training. So just a really nasty, hard-hitting squad that actually has some nice close-range shooting. We've got some Werewolf Brothers that I've upgraded with 5 have the Rending and Reliable, and then 5 are just their Heavy. So they've sort of split. They've got a little bit of Rending and a little bit of just AP1 running in the squad here. Really nice squad with Fast, Fearless, and Regeneration. Some Wolf Support Brothers that I have just all with Heavy Machine Guns. So this is sort of a squad that can sort of do a little bit of everything. Two 5-man squads of Hunting Wolves that I've also given Warning Cry to. So this is 3 squads with Warning Cry. Finally, I've got an attack APC that I have just upgraded with a twin heavy minigun. That's effectively the assault cannon. So this is just basically going to be a Razorback. It's got that 6 transport capacity, so if ever I need to put a smaller squad in there, I can. So yeah, we'll see how this squad goes. Just looking at the models here. On the left, I've got my squads. I got my Pathfinders, and then my 2 squads of Wolves. Towards the center, I've got my Blood Claws, and then below them, I've got the Grey Hunters, effectively with their bolters and plasma rifles. And then below there, I've got my werewolf brothers, the wolfen, I guess, with the claws and the heavy hand weapons. Towards the center, the long fangs are running with their heavy machine guns. Below that is the razorback. And then to the right, finally, coming in from ambush, I've got the wolf guard terminators with the wolf lord. This is, I have them with just these heavy hand weapons. So just these big hammers. These guys are just a real big beefy squad. For the alien hives, this is actually an army I've been running multiple times and has done me well every time. Hive lord, side barrier, caster 3, ambush and flying like you do. I've got some assault grunts that I'm running, one of which I managed to fit in 5.4 slashing rending claw in there, but basically both are similar. 2 shooter grunts that I have with the biospines. I really like these guys with the 6-inch biospines, just getting the extra attack in AP1. I much prefer them than having a longer ranged weapon, so continue to run those guys at 110. Some winged grunts that I'm running with also the biospines. I think that with them in ambush it just works out very well. 10-man unit of soul snatchers like you do. They're great. Two hive swarms like you do with the ambush. They're just terrific for 65 points. Combined squad of ravenous beasts. These are all AP4, so and they've got scout. I've then got the burrower. I mean, just the burrower is great. I have him running with 4 whip limbs, so he's hitting on 2s. Just always been a nasty squad. Finally, 2 squads of spores that have their explode and no retreat. This army has done me very well, and we'll see how it does. Just looking at the models, towards the left we have the bigger raveners. Then we have the gene stealers in orange. The 2 squads in pink are the hormigants, and then in the green, if you go a little closer, you'll see the gun. Those are effectively the termagants. You have the spores on the left. Finally, the 2 hive swarms are in the center. You have the towards the right and in ambush, you have the 10-man gargoyle squad. The red is going to be the burrower, and then the winged sort of monster is going to be the hive lord or flying hive tyrant here. Yeah, it's been a tried and true squad. I've ran this, and I've generally won with this army. All right, for the setup, so let's go look at how we ended up setting things. We rolled up 3 objectives, and as we're placing them, the alien hives, again, tried to really spread out the objectives, putting it 2 on the very far corners with the Space Wolf player only getting 1, and just put it right in the center. So, yeah, I think that 3 objectives are going to favor the Space Wolf simply because they have less objectives to contest with. This is before scouting, so as we can see here, one thing you're going to see on the Space Wolves, I know the scout's coming. So on the far left, I've got those werewolves that have fast, but they're more than, they're basically far enough away that they can't get first turn charged. So you can see those in the Grey Hunters on the left, they're placed back, while I have my chaff, those 2 squads of wolves, and then the wolf scouts, pathfinders, are in the center. And then, yeah, you just have the blood claws, and then a lot of my main shooting is in the center along with the tank, just being protected. After scouting, again, I couldn't first turn charge anything. This is a great way to counter scout, which is to either place chaff units in the front or place your units that can shoot or are faster towards the back so they can't be first turn charged here. So keep that in mind. I actually just ended up putting both the Soul Snatchers and Raveners just in cover, and also just threatening that left flank here, because I feel the right flank as the Alien Hives player is gonna be pretty well. All right, again, just reiterating that in ambush is coming in the Gargoyles, the Burrower, and the Hive Tyrant or Hive Lord. All right, turn 1, the Tyranids, they get a chance to go first here. I'll go through the first turn very fast. Yeah, this is just a lot of moving. The spores are moving up to grab the objectives. The wolves just grab an objective. A lot of stuff is just moving. Here, the Termagants just moving cover. I have the scouts rushing up, just increasing that warning cry range, and then I have the Hormigants just moving behind the Termagants as well. A lot of just moving up here and there. One thing I did is the tank move up and shoot and shot at those spores in the center actually kills all of them. So no retreat doesn't matter. They're just all wiped out. Just more movements. The Termagants are moving up towards the left. I got a pretty good shot where the Longfangs moved up and were able to actually shoot at those Gene Stealers behind. Killed 5 of them. They did pass their morale, but actually that was just a really decent move just to take out 5 of those Gene Stealers. Just more moving up with the Hormigants, just all moving up, everyone trying to stay behind cover. You have the Wolves. The Wolves actually just moved towards the center. I'm trying to leverage that warning cry to protect all my units, and I'll get into that from ambush. Yeah, at this point, you can just see those Pathfinders have warning cry. That if I didn't kill them as the Alien Hive's player, Tyranids, that would have really pushed back that ambush range. So actually, the Raveners just go ahead and just charge those Pathfinders, kill all of them, and actually consolidate back into cover, as well as just grabbing that center objective here. The Grey Hunters just move towards the center. They shoot at those Raveners, do 4 wounds, so killing 1 of them. It's not bad, but those Raveners, again, they were in cover, so still pretty tough. Yeah, at this point, the Gene Stealers, they just move towards the center, getting behind cover. I didn't want to get them shot again. Yeah, at this point, as you can kind of see with the Space Wolves player, I'm just closing up to the center. I'm just sort of protecting myself here. So you can actually see both the Werewolves and the Blood Claws all just sort of center up here. And I'll kind of show you what I mean here. What I'm trying to do here is you can just see the power of Warning Cry. How the 2 units that had Warning Cry, they're basically just providing these bubbles where they can't get... So basically, as the Tyranid player, I can't drop in the back lines. And I'm really just pushed back a lot here. So you can just see the power. Also, you can just see why I had to take out those... This is where those Pathfinders were that also had Warning Cry. And you can just see why I had to take them out. They were just pushing me back so far as the Tyranid player that I had to take them out. So just sort of keep that in mind here. Turn 2, the Alien Hives or Tyranids do get to go first here. And yeah, they get to start dropping off their... There was a lot of ambushing coming on. Again, I really was just pushed back. The only thing really kept available to me was those Wolfguard Terminator squads that I actually just ambushed right in front of the army. So it's just, there's, one thing is that because there was so much Warning Cry going over here, I really chose, as the Tyranids player, just not to forego ambushing in turn 3. It just felt way too late that I only have 1 turn. So I went ahead and just didn't take the surprise attack damage. I just dropped the Burrower, in range to charge those Terminators that ambushed in also. You can see the Hive Swarms also just sort of ambushed in the Gargoyles. All of them, what I'm meant to do is I'm just going to either try and contest or grab those objectives in the center and left and just hold that right objective here. So sort of the swarm tactics that I've used in the past here. And yeah, they do get to go first as the Tyranid player. First thing I do is I just go ahead and just send in that Burrower into those Terminators. It's not the best trade, and I don't roll so great. I actually only do 5 wounds into them. And then, yeah, those Terminators with those AP4 hitting on 2s do 15 wounds into that Burrower. And actually, the Burrower, even if Fearless, fails their morale, and the Burrower gets wiped out. That was actually a really rough first move. The Consolidate back by the Terminators, they immediately get to go next, and they move out of charge range of that Hive Lord, and then shoot. They have their shotguns, and they shoot into those Raveners, do another couple of wounds, and take out another one here. So a really rough first go. I wasn't expecting that Burrower to just fail their morale. So that's a rough one for the Tyranid player. But I still have a lot of tools left. Those Raveners just go ahead and just go into those... basically, the Raveners just choose to go into those Long Fangs. Just go ahead and just kill them off. That's a lot of AP4. They just consolidate back. I think that's a good trade for them. The tank moves up and actually just shoots at those Gargoyles in the building. But the Gargoyles pass their morale. So, yeah, I was hoping to wait for them, but the Gargoyles stick. The Hormagaunts then just charge the tank. That's the only thing they can really charge. They do a wound. I was hoping to force the morale check, but the tank passes the morale check. At this point, the Blood Claws just charge into the Raveners. Yep, roll great and just kill them off. And then the Blood Claws just consolidate back. So those Raveners got traded away. The Gargoyles just move up and actually shoot, killing one of those Blood Claws. Then the Grey Hunters, they move up towards the center. They're able to shoot at that Hive Lord. I mean, it's cover. I actually only managed to do 1 wound to those Hive Lords, but it's something. Yeah, the Spores just start moving towards the center. That's on the right. And then we've got the other Wolves charge those Hormagaunts that had just attacked the tank. Killed 5 of them and then lost 1 in return. The Hormagaunts fail the morale and then run away. The Wolves consolidate back here. So that's pretty good. Those wolves are doing me really good. Swarms are just moving up just to sort of clog up the center. That's what those swarms are going to do this turn. At this point, those wolves on the left, they actually move back to reposition. I don't want to commit with my wolves. I think that I may actually be repositioning towards the center here. Yeah, the termagants, they just rush forward. I'm just sort of swarming the space wolves now, just giving them way too many targets to attack here. Actually, I see an opportunity with fast on those werewolves, brothers. I actually just rush them towards the center, possibly going after that, threatening that right objectives. These guys are fast enough at 16 inches to actually do that. Yeah, this is just more moving up from the Tyranids. They just rush up with the Hormagaunts, rush up with the swarms. Now it's just a lot of their movement. The Gene Stealers actually charge those Terminators who were fatigued. Roll pretty good and actually do 4 wounds into them. Lost 3 on the backswing. But still, I think that's a good... I have to whittle down that Terminator squad as well, so I didn't mind that trade. Yeah, at this point, the Hive Lord moves up. He casts the level 1 deadly spell into those terms, fails the wound, and actually rolls a 1. He tried to cast the regen spell, but fails that, so actually burns 6 spell tokens to not do anything, and then just moves into cover to charge something next turn here. Yeah, turn 3. Now the Space Wolves get a chance to go first. And yeah, just sort of looking at it, this is the state of the battle. You can see a lot of the Tyranid units have pushed up to those center and that left objective. So I actually just decide that as the Space Wolf player, I have enough maneuverability that I think I can actually push that right flank here. So with that, I actually just move the tank back and chooses, I shoot those Hormagaunts, kill 5 of them, and actually just waver them. So you can see here now, a lot of the power units are on the left. So now I'm just trying to just clear out that right flank here. These Termagants, they just moved over to block, and then they shot at the dogs. Killed 1 of them. Yeah, I think actually the dogs rolled some pretty good saves, so I only lose 1 of those dogs. That's pretty good. The other wolves, what I call it, they're wolves. The wolves charge these Termagants, kill 6 of them, they lose 1 in return. Termagants fail the morale, and then they rout, and the wolves run back to contest the objective here. So yeah, so this is the Hive Lord. He goes ahead and he casts the level 1 into the Terminators again. This time he kills 1 of those Terminators and then charges those Blood Claws. Yeah, kills like 9 Blood Claws, and they fail their morale, and actually kills, so 1 of the Terminators die from the spell, kills like 8 of the Blood Claws, or 6, he kills a lot of them. Basically the Blood Claws fail the morale, and they run. At this point, the Grey Hunters, they move up and they shoot that Hive Lord with his plasmas, and the bolters go into the gargoyles, kill 3 gargoyles. The gargoyles pass morale, and the Hive Lord just takes a single wound. That Hive Lord's pretty tough. Yeah, so here the gargoyles are just rushing to reinforce the right objective, so there's only 2 left, but I can still use them to contest objectives, so I just get them out of the way. And yeah, those Terminators charged the Hive Tyrant. So I could only get 2, because 2 of them were in difficult terrain, only 2 were able to attack that Hive Tyrant. But I do 4 wounds, and I take 1 in return here. Here's the crazy part. So I managed to do 4 wounds to that Hive Tyrant, take him to half, but he fails his morale even with Fearless, and the Hive Tyrant is gone. That was huge, losing that Hive Tyrant. It happens, you know, quality 3 followed by 4 at Fearless. The Hive Tyrant fails the morale and just runs. Huge loss for the Tyranids. Was not expecting that. The Hormagaunts on the right just unwaver. At this point, I have the Werewolf Brothers. They just go ahead and just charge those terms. They don't roll great. They actually roll pretty bad, but only kill 6, but that's enough for those Termagants to fail morale. I lose 1 in return, and then I can just consolidate towards the right objective. So yeah, that's been a pretty rough turn for the Tyranids. I have 2 of these Soul Snatchers. They actually just charge those remaining dogs. Only kill 2 of them, and the dogs pass them, or the wolves pass their morale. Those wolves have just been really just worth their weight in gold. That single wolf, I tried to do a Hail Mary, actually just charged those Termagants on the right. He actually manages to stay alive, didn't die. Kill 1, but the Hormagaunts pass their morale. So it's sort of good rolls on both sides, where the dog didn't die, wins combat, but the Hormagaunts pass the morale. So, you know, I guess it sort of balances out. Yeah, the swarms at this point, I charge those wolves. I'm trying to grab that left objective. Charge the wolves. I do I do like 1 damage into them, and that's enough to waver those wolves, but they're, you know, they're not below 50%. At this point, those other swarms, I'm trying to just kill these wolves, but I charge them, but I fail to hit. So the wolves actually stick. Even though they're wavered, they actually stick. Yeah, the spores on the far right, they move back. So I don't want those spores getting charged. So I just move back out of charge range, but I'm still able to sort of contest the right objective next turn. And yeah, that's the end of turn 3. You can really see losing the Hive Lord was rough. Now that center objective has basically been cleared out, the right objective is being threatened. The Tyranids haven't had terrible rolls. They've actually had some pretty good rolls this game, but the 2 key rolls of losing not only the Burrower, but losing the Hive Lord has really been rough for the Tyranids. So it is turn 4. The Space Wolves get to go first, and yeah, we'll see what starts to go out. So in sort of looking at it, it turns out I just decide to unwaver those wolves on the left. I don't want an easy target. I don't want those wolves just to get wiped out for free. Those Gene Stealers on the center, they just go ahead and charge those wolves, kill 2 of them, and this time the wolves fail the morale, so they run. So those Gene Stealers took out those wolves to grab that left objective. Yeah, I have these Grey Hunters. They just go ahead and just charge in those swarms. They kill 8 of them, so there's only 1 left. But those swarms, and actually the swarms fail their morale, even with Fearless. So cleared out those swarms, and I was able to contest those objectives with those Grey Hunters. Pretty good. The swarms I decide not to charge. I just move around the Grey Hunters and I contest that objective. I don't want, because I know if those Gene Stealers get shot off, then they grab it. So the swarms move up to contest the left objective here. At this point, this lone wolf charges those gargoyles. I kill 1 of them, and that breaks the gargoyles, and then the wolf just sort of consolidates towards the center. At this point, I move a little faster. The Hormagaunts just rush towards the right objective to contest it, but then the tank moves in and just shoots them all off. So the gargoyles are wrong. I then move the spores up to contest that objective. But at this point, the game is basically done because, again, these werewolves having fast are so great. They actually just rush up, they contest that objective, and yeah, that's basically the game. I just, for simplicity, I move the Terminators onto the center objective, and that is it. It is a 1-0 victory to the Space Wolves, who just, only grab the center objective here. Wow, end of the game. What a very close game. I think, for the Tyranids, there was some key morale failures. The Tyranids rolled good, but those 2 key morale failures where I lost the Burrower, lost the Hive Lord, was so rough. Like I said, it was good rolls on both sides. It's just they failed when it mattered. The Tyranids failed when it mattered. Let's go look at some learning points. So I think that less objectives favor more elite armies. In your personal games, if ever you want to sort of balance things out, you may just want to play 3 or 4 objectives. When you start getting up to 5 objectives, that really allows swarm armies to just have a big advantage. Hey, morale rolls continue to be huge in the game. You can just really see the power of Fearless. AP4 continues to do well. I think the MVP of the game was Warning Cry. If one thing I would show you, even if your army can bring a single character with Warning Cry, you can really you can see the power of Warning Cry. Bring it. Bring at least, if you have Warning Cry in your army, you need to bring at least 2 models with it, because that second model with Warning Cry is going to give you so much space. The Destroyers with their short-range shotguns were great. I think the Destroyers did super good. The Gargoyles felt weak, but at the same time, I was facing more of an elite army. I think in the future for my alien hives, I may drop the Gargoyles. I think the Hunting Wolves did great. I am going to tweak them. I'm probably going to drop Fearless on the Hunting Wolves and give them Fast. I don't think Fearless fits on the Hunting Wolves, so I'll probably just change that out for Fast. I thought the Werewolf Brothers did terrific. I mean, just giving Fast on them is so great. The Wolf Brothers redesign is just really solid. They've got Fast where it matters. I think this is a really solid army here. Hey, thanks for watching. Would love feedback. Like, subscribe, and comment. Hey, send me your custom army list on our Discord. Send army lists. Send some custom armies. I'm always glad to help. Thanks.